So next presenter is Pennypacker, the GHOU leaders. The title is 100 Hours for 100 Schools.
Well, actually,
so,
Bonnie's the presenter. I'm her
sorry,
helper. I'm her
all
helper.
Right, so,
sorry.
So, then please start, Bonnie.
Carl is a great helper. So we've been doing a project, well, I'll just say hello, welcome. 100 Hours for 100 Schools, 2020. This is now a collaboration between GHOU, LCO, and IASC. And the people who are working on this are Patrick Miller, Carl Pennypacker, and me, Bonnie Thurber. Okay, so I just, I've got too many images on my screen. Let's see, I'll get rid of this one. Okay. These are various people or icons, items that we're working in with this project. So Las Cumbres Observatory is LCO, and I'm going to ask Carl to read the signs as they come up. The mission of LCO is to advance our understanding of the universe through science education with our unique global telescope network. And so we just passed the one in Hawaii. Carl, can you read these?
Oh wait, it just appeared too quick. McDonald Observatory.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could just say that I kind of know where they are. They're in Hawaii, they're in Texas, they're in South America at Sertololo. Want to keep going? Then in South Africa at the SAAO. So they've been chosen very carefully. Then in Israel, or wait, in Tenerife, yeah, of course. The T-Day Observatory on the main island of Canary. There's one in one in Israel and one in Tibet being built. Next one over.
It's coming.
Yeah,
I was excited that one was being built.
Yeah, so that it's on a very high plateau, pretty good site. Then one in Australia, well-known Siding Springs Observatory. That's for the largest telescope in Australia is the the Australian telescope, 4.2 meter telescope or so. But
okay,
it's unique in the world. Okay, if I mention something, I mean, they have 10 0.4 meter telescopes, a number of 1 meters, and then two 1.5 meter telescopes. The Fox Telescope North in Haleakala, Hawaii, and the in Siding Springs, the Fox Telescope North. And that, we've had a little. Fraser Lewis used one of the telescopes earlier today, I think, or yesterday, but Fox Telescope Network is a part of Las Cumbres Observatory. Although Las Cumbres took the viewpoint that, well, we can build a lot of small telescopes and we can get a lot of people images. So why don't we do that? That's going to have a bigger impact than if we build one or two big ones where only a few people could get images. So they had, I thought, a great revelation, great act of kindness toward educators in putting these 0.4 meter telescopes all over the world.
I'm very excited about that too. So I just want to mention that these telescopes are sort of split. So they're in the eastern and western hemispheres and in the northern and southern hemispheres. So there's usually a telescope available to take pictures of the sky. Now, is this moving? Maybe. Repeat it. Okay, so this is, we have a 100 hours for 100 teachers. So we have 100 hours for 100 schools is a collaboration between several organizations involved in providing high quality and well-supported astronomy education programs. Many of the current 100 schools come from the 1,300 schools that already actively participate in the International Astronomical Search Collaboration, which you've heard about already, IASC. Teachers are invited to select and develop a project with their students. And in teams, the students use the teacher's telescope time to participate in the project. Projects are suggested from the basic to the advanced, with training offered through Global Hands-on Universe. And earlier it was offered through GTTP, but they're doing other projects right now. In this, new groups of teachers, new groups of participants start every 2 months and can repeat during the year if they want to. Okay, so this is what's going on this year. We've been doing this project for 3 years. GHOU requested 100 hours and received 75 hours this year. Each applying school received 1.5 hours of telescope time. IASC created a web page including friendlier registration and detailed handouts for our project. So we feel like this year it really got going. And then we included Padlet for sharing and collaboration. IASC is creating video tutorials for the coming years. And the end of June 2020, our 75 hours were used up. So we reapplied and received 99 more hours from LOC. So this year we've actually gotten a total of 74 hours of telescope time. This is to join our project, and every one of you could join. If you have a group, you could join that group with your login and username. So you navigate to IASC, here's the URL, select the LCO tab, review the information on the page, which tells you to send email to IASC search at the Texas University.
Okay, if I interrupt there, Bonnie?
Sure.
Yeah, again, just to add on Bonnie's excellent talk here, I mean, this is kind of extraordinary. You know, we were able to convince the fine people at Las Cumbres that we could go out to global HOU teachers and IASC teachers and give them an hour and a half of telescope time. So that was kind of, actually, the response at first was kind of lukewarm, wouldn't you say, Bonnie? But somehow, you know, we've started to, I think we're getting more and more power. Bonnie's done an excellent job of getting the Padlet working. I think there's a lot more oomph to it, and people understand it is a huge gift. When I was young, I would have killed for an hour of telescope time, and we were a little surprised that people weren't more eager at first. But I think actually the community's getting educated, and the word is spreading. You see, we're using up time much more rapidly. So I think this.
It took us the first 2 years to get a movement going, and now we seem to be just rolling along.
Yeah, I mean, I had students write to 100 nations, to astronomers, my friends. Hey, could you find a teacher? You can get an hour and a half of telescope time. You know, I was begging them, please take the telescope time. And I think, you know, the mentality of the teachers at the time was, you know, what am I going to do with this? So, but I think there has been a shift. You know, the tools are getting better, everything. So teachers are starting to know what a good resource this is. But it did take some wearing down.
Okay, so that's our directions then. Right now, the students have a lot of options of ways to learn how to take pictures of the night sky, how to take pictures of the objects they want. And this year, the newest tool is called Kiosk. It's really a user-friendly site. I've got a short video of that. Then Solar Siblings Quick Submit is another way to get an image. Then we're moving along now. We have some of our students actually using LCO's simple interface, which astronomers use. And we have a couple of students who are actually using LCO's advanced interface, and you have to go into your profile and click a switch to change from the simple user interface, which you see, to the advanced interface. Okay, so this is a Padlet video. How to use Padlet. Do I have the volume turned up enough?
Can't hear it. Did you click, when you went to share screen, did you click, use your computer's audio, Bonnie? In the lower left? You should, if not, you should.
You cannot hear it now?
No, I would unshare, then share again, but then in the lower left, optimize for video and click share your audio, computer's audio, okay?
So I'm going to click, I'm going to get
stop
out.
share, stop share. Okay, then start share.
Okay.
Share screen. Then when you're on a window, only you will see it in the lower left. It says share computer audio and optimize for video.
Well, it just says share. So on the lower left, oh, whoops, sorry. I think we're going to hear, well, escape again. Whoa.
Did you click the two squares buttons in the lower left of the window that came after you did share screen?
So now I'm on share screen, share computer sound, and
yeah, in the lower left, click both of those, please.
Screen. I did. Thank you. Thank you,
okay,
Carl.
then go to the lower right and share again.
I'm there. Okay.
Great.
Now it needs to start.
Hi, welcome to this tutorial for Kiosk. To get started, navigate to Kiosk.LCO.Global and type in your credentials. After you log in, you need to choose a project. Here, we are choosing 100 hours for 100 schools. Next, you need to decide on what object you want to image. You can use the suggestions box to choose an object. Objects include planets, galaxies, star clusters, and nebulae. Please note that some suggested objects may not be visible as they may be too close to the sun for the time of year you are submitting a request. If you want to choose a particular deep sky object, press the catalog lookup button and enter the name of your target object. We are going to image M9. Click the search button and wait for LCO to confirm your object. Then click the submit button. If after you submitted your request and discover the request was in error, click the cancel button. Once an image request is completed, click the Get Image button. A preview of your image will appear. To download, click the button with the arrow located at the bottom left of the preview. This will open your image in a new window. Right-click and select Save Image As. You can change the name of the image as well as the folder location before saving.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
This saves the image as a JPEG. However, if you click another button, it will go to LCO's interface and you can save it as a FITS file. So the possibility of getting a FITS file right there is excellent. Whoops. Okay, so we have kids download images, and then we have them use Celsa-J or Stellarium, well, Celsa-J and Stellarium, to learn more about their planets, the objects that they took images of. Carl, do you want to say anything about this?
Well, yeah, these all came to fruition, I think, in good shape, you know, maybe within the last 3 or 4 years. You know, Japanese image processing software Mataka is comparable to Salsa J, but so I think we have a number of choices for good image processing. That's once you get the image, you get to play with it. I think that's really where a lot of the learning happens. And actually, our talk tomorrow, I'll talk a little bit more about things you can do with images to give it a little more oomph. But all this, you know, all these things didn't exist certainly 10 years ago, and probably weren't that good even 5 years ago. So we've really had a tremendous boost in great software to help you at all stages.
Actually, what I'm working on is getting processing set up so you can do it on a mobile phone. So that's, I actually did a presentation in Morocco last year about using mobile phones. Okay, so this is about Padlet. Now, after your image is ready, you know something about it, then you use Padlet to share it with others in the project. We'll see if yes. This video does not have sound, but I had some people requesting a tutorial with Padlet, so I whipped this up. And eventually I will get some sound into it.
But Padlet's an amazing website for free, but we create Padlets for specific projects, and students can upload images and describe them. And again, and Bonnie's put in the requirement that they write some science about them into the Padlet, which is a great idea.
And then the hardest thing I'm having to do right now is to get people to make comments back and forth, to get this discussion going, because that's where the collaboration starts. And after I get a discussion going, then I need to get them to talk about the images and more about what they're doing rather than just having a happy discussion.
But so this is very cute. Each image is kind of like an object, and it's got all this stuff, you know, the discussion session around that image. So this is another internet tool that didn't exist 2 years ago, I think.
So what I've done here is this is the Padlet for the first part of this year. We're on our third Padlet now. You can click on the images and see the larger version. You can read what people have said about their image. And I hope if they needed to give credit, they have. You can also see the team name that they put together to work on this project.
Do you have a little template for what they should say in the Padlet, Bonnie, or?
Actually, that was in the instructions. So I guess I need to be more specific about that. What they're supposed to do is name the object and give their team name or their name, and then describe the image or why they took the picture of the image, why they're posting it here. And then you can see one of them has 3 comments that say anonymous on it under this image. But yes, it's lovely. This is very full. I'm trying to get more of a discussion underneath a better discussion underneath the images. But I think getting the discussion started is probably the best thing. I
think there's a lot to be said for the educational power of getting your own image easily and then writing about it. I think
yes,
it's different than going to an archive.
Correct. So this is an archive of the people who have used LOC to take the images, and then they color them, and then they post them. So it's a learning process for everyone. So coming up is my observations, LCO by a Polish group. And I was really amazed at this because they didn't put each of the images they took on the Padlet, they actually made their own slideshow. And it loads very slowly, so I didn't show the slideshow. If you want to, you can go to the address of this Padlet and look at this slideshow, or look at anything, any of the other images.
Very nice.
And make some comments.
Hey, Bonnie, do we have any more hours available, for example, for some of the good participants from Asia?
Yes,
Right.
everyone whose presentations I saw, you can get a team of your students or a team of really university colleagues and go to IASC and apply to be a participant here. You know, the language here is Spanish. This is from a group in British Columbia. No, not British Columbia, Columbia.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie and Carl. This is time for the end.
Now,
So
you need
no.
to slow down. This is the last
Okay.
presentation, and Gustavo said
Okay.
he was putting me here because this could go on and on and on. So I hope everybody isn't leaving. This is almost over. It's the last. This is actually the last slide.
Great. Good work, Bonnie.
Great.
Hey,
Thank you.
well, I think, you know, Toshihiro, like the speaker before last, your colleague in the club in Kagoshima,
Yeah.
could he? It seems to me he deserves telescope time.
I asked him, Maeda-san,
Yeah.
Maeda-san, have you joined? Still join?
So this was one of the first images without any filters.
Maeda-san,
I think he's left.
Yes,
No,
I can
he
find
is
his name
now.
right now. Yes.
on the list, he is still staying here.
Oh no, Toshita. Hi. Oh, yes, I found him. Yes. Right.
Okay, so these are our goals: to get 100 hours for a 100 schools project, working to show greater student collaboration, create video tutorials, establish more workshop materials for collaborations. You notice Patrick Miller's images next to those, and to improve the comfort levels of students and teachers so they can move into more professional imaging. So you notice Carl Pennypacker's picture is there, and tomorrow night he'll be doing more with this, I think, more with
Yeah.
Isaac. So that's
Very good.
super. And so now I have a slide that says Q&A. So I'm going to look at my chat.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Okay. Thank you. And some comments on the chat. So could you please send a Padlet link on the chat? Everybody wants to know where they can access a Padlet.
And,
So-
and Bonnie, can you send your email or the link to apply for time to join on the chat?
Okay. Now, this is Alan is asking questions. Two questions. One, will 100 hours, 100 schools project extend? Alan, yes, it is. We already have 99 hours for 2020. So this goes until the end of the year, and then a new project starts. So 2021, we have 99 hours set up for that. The International Planetarium Society recently, I need to put my glasses on, entered a partnership agreement with, okay. Might be interested in setting up, well, I'm sure. So can we talk more about that, Alan? Yeah, Alan, maybe I can connect with you and we can get more information going.
Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, Bonnie, if you could put links into the Padlet and then how to apply for time in the chat.
Okay. All right, I actually need to go back to the slideshow to get the link for applying for time. You can actually ask me. I have a a form I made also.
But it's amazingly simple, a little too easy to get an image, considering all the pain many of us do to get anything out of a telescope.
I just say it's slick.
And
And yes, there's another comments and questions on the chat, so we cannot finish, right? But are there any suggestions for students who do not know anything about deep sky objects to get started with programs? Maybe your program needs some knowledge before I start, but how they can apply for the students?
This is actually, it goes through teachers. So or a leader. So you need to have a club leader or a teacher leader. Let me see, I'm putting this URL in now.
I mean, there's a carefully, path to be able, through both Japanese HOU materials, US HOU materials, so students know what they're getting. I'll be talking a little bit about this tomorrow night, how to make it. And then Bonnie is right that this current set of time is meant for teachers. So if your student could, maybe Bonnie could send the talk to him to your student, and then the student could go to a teacher, and then the teacher applies for time.
That was my question actually. 11 here. That was my question. So I have applied. I am a part of LCO. How do I make sure that my students give some good suggestions instead of just saying the first thing that comes to mind? When they know nothing about galaxies, not much about galaxies, I wanted to come from them. I don't want to say do this first.
Exactly.
I wanted to come from them. So how do I go about it?
When you go outside, you have a lot of different kinds of activities looking at the night sky, don't you? I don't know. Every night about 9 o'clock, I walk outside. I did this tonight too. I typed in be back soon or BBS something in the chat. And then I walked outside and looked straight up at the sky, and I discovered the haze had parted. I can see the stars if I look straight up. I can't see them around the edges because there's too much light pollution.
Can I add something in here, Bonnie?
Well, give me another minute. If you get a program to go on your phone about the night sky, then like Stellarium, actually, I have a bunch of kids in Nepal now who now use Stellarium. They go out and you can turn the Stellarium screen off and then point it up at the sky, and it will find different objects. So that's one way of finding different objects. And now I'll let Carl speak. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with Bonnie totally. Sorry if I was interrupting you. Apologize. But Giovanni, I think actually in astronomy, if you want to get an hour of telescope time, might take 20 hours of planning, proposal writing, studying. So you may even more, 100 hours. So why? That's how it is in professional world. So it seems like, so if we want students to become more like scientists, I think, and I'll talk about this on Thursday. I mean, we have a great tool in terms of the kiosk, but I think there has to be a lot more discourse in the classroom, student work, student discussions, them understanding what a galaxy is, what a globular cluster. Then they go get it. And then they write reports on it, put it on Padlet, do drawings and answer questions. But I think there's a whole kind of an arc of learning you want to do that starts off with some good preparation. Not to say there won't be fun, but I think it makes it more meaningful scientifically and educationally if you build, if you can come to tomorrow's talk, you'll see my primitive ideas on it. But I think I'm sensing some of this curiosity, how to get the kids to get the right things or know what they're requesting. And I think I have some ideas on that. I'd be happy to hear your ideas on what I've suggested too tomorrow.
You know,
But Bonnie and I'll be there tomorrow.
there have also been a lot of projects where kids are drawing things like comparing the sun to the earth. And just, I participated in a couple of workshops today where and I think I think I was your partner in one of them. I'm not sure. I think so. You know, kids were drawing pictures of what their ideal, whatever it would be like. And I think maybe if they draw a picture of their dreamy nebula or something, something they think they've seen, that's a way of connecting to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But excellent question, Ivani, and good responses, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Good responses, Carl, also.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ivani.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's almost more than 10 minutes over. So this is final one question on the Q&A from Amritanshu Bajpayee. Can we also get a chance to utilize 1 meter telescope with a proposal?
We give him a ½ meter. He wants a 1 meter. What the heck? I joke. No, for sure. You know, if he has a valid scientific reason, the Las Cumbres has a well-known proposal process for 1 meters, and he might he might be able to apply to the education side. I'm not sure, but they have easy proposal writing tools and systems, so he can apply. But it's got, you know, there's a fair bit of 0.4 meter time, so he'd have to have a very careful argument to say, you know, it would take 5 years of 0.4 meter time for me to get to this, and you know, I have to have a 1 meter telescope. So, but again, the 1 meters, they can do they can do a lot of science that we can't, and if he has a good argument, they'd be open to it, I think.
Okay, thank you, Carl and Bonnie. So this is the final session of this session 9. So thank you all again for all the presenters and all the participants. So I will finish